What's up, guys? Your boy Yo checking in. Look, I'm heading out of Chile, but before I get out of here, I gotta tell you guys the 7 things I regretted not knowing before coming to this country. So stick around, buckle up. It's gonna be a crazy ride. Let's get it. All right, guys. So number one is arriving in Chile. And look, I know I said in a couple of videos, I know you guys are super hesitant to come to Chile because it's just super far. I mean, it's further than Brazil, it's further than Colombia, it's further than a lot of great countries that you probably could go to, jump off, have a great time, go home, and not have to do a 15-hour plane ride. But of course, your boy El Checking is here to help get you where you need to go without all the hassle. Now, look, the best option you're gonna have to get to Chile is to make it a double trip. And that means to go somewhere that you really want to go to, that you in your mind think is worth it, and then tag along Chile at the back end of that. What you want to do is maybe go to Brazil for 10 days, right? So you're going to Brazil anyway, gonna have a fun, you're gonna have a blast, you always wanted to do it. Now, instead of doing a whole 10 days in Brazil, you could just pick maybe 3 days. If you really, really want to see Chile, maybe 4 days on the back end of it and do a round trip from Rio de Janeiro, for instance. You go there, you have fun in Rio de Janeiro for 4 days, then you jump on a plane for another 4 days to Chile, and then you come back for the last day, 2 days in Rio de Janeiro. This way, you get your cake and eat it too. You went to a place that you knew you was gonna have fun, and you also got to go to another place. Now, it's 2024. A lot of you guys know how to use all those nice, fancy websites that do all the multi-city jumping. But if you don't want to do that, you could just buy two separate tickets. You could buy the full flight to Rio de Janeiro for 10 days. In the middle, you could buy the Chile flight, or like I said, you could use one of those fancy sites. But for me, I think this is the best plan for those people who are hesitant to go to Chile because they think it's possibly not worth it. Now, I put this on the regret list because honestly, this was going to be my plan. I was going to go to Rio de Janeiro, spend some time out there, hop on a plane. The only thing that put a real hinge in that plan was, well, we'll get to that in the next section, but something put a hinge in that plan where I wasn't able to go through with it. But I absolutely recommend paying extra $200, $300 to get the 2-for-1 special. On top of that, you'll already be super close to Chile if you're in Brazil. You'll already be pretty close to Chile if you're in Bogota. So, and those are just two examples. You could also probably do this from Guayaquil, Ecuador. You could do this from a couple places in South America. I'm just throwing out the things off the top of my head. All right, guys. So let's get into point number two, which is weather and time. And so weather, the climate in Chile is what really killed that first play. I just couldn't get it to align right where I could go to Rio and Chile at the same time. I got a trip planned to go to Rio in March, and I just felt like I couldn't wait that long because Chile gets cold and it gets cold fast. I think summer in Chile is December, January, and February. I believe summer March. But if you guys follow any YouTubers, like I follow them who went to Chile, I would say like 80 to 85% of them had jackets on, hoodies on, long sleeves on. And I felt like, that's not the Chile that I wanted to give you guys in the videos. I want to kind of show you guys the better months, the outdoory months, kind of give you guys a full spectrum. And I can tell you why a lot of them have on hoodies and sweaters and long sleeves is because Chile is cold for like 9 out of 12 months. So it's extremely hard to really line up plans that fit perfectly in the summer because that window is so short. Then on top of that, there's certain cities in Chile that have the weirdest weather I've ever seen. I'm talking about it never gets hot. Like when I was planning to go to Vineyard de Mar, I wanted to make sure I went best days. Like I wanted to make sure I was going on the most summer like days. And I did research. I put 2021 in, 2022 in to see like how is the weather in January of these years. And they all were 70, 70, 70. It's one of those cities that don't really you're not gonna see it over 75 a lot. So you want to do your research and make sure that you're planning for this trip or it can possibly make or break it for you. Make sure you look in doing your research, trying to figure out the best day. I personally would recommend going in January. I think January is the perfect time to go and get a feel of everything. It's gonna be hot. Even the places that get you know that super um, middle like weather, the like 70s, you're gonna get the best of those 70s those days. So make sure you check it out. All right, guys. Number three, the sun does not set in Chile. Like I was out there sometimes at 9 p.m. and the sun was just going down. And when I was out there, I was like, what in the world is going on? I thought about it and I realized Chile is super close to like that Antarctic area. They get that weird daylight situation going on where like some days there's no sunset and other days there's no sun. So a light bulb moment happened. I said, okay. But like I said, you will regret, and I definitely regret it. I know this because it kind of affects everything. It affects uh, the hours that I could have been outside, as far as like going to the beach and stuff. You go to the beach super late because the sun sets super late. As far as going out, one of my videos, I went to go try to pregame at like 10 o'clock, and the sun was up, so nobody was out pregaming. So I was like, dang, this is kind of hard to really maneuver, not knowing that the sun sets so late. So that's just something to keep in mind before your trip. The sun sets late, especially in the summer months. So just be prepared for that. You could go out for lunch, you could go out for dinner a little later, you could go out to the beach a little later. You'll do a lot of stuff later in the day because the sun will not be going anywhere. Hey guys, talking about the sunset and talking about staying out and when to go pregame and when to go out and all that stuff. We talk about nightlife. I did not expect nightlife to be so crazy. Like I said, a lot of those days I went out, or the day that I went out, specifically in Santiago, where I made the video, people weren't coming out till 1 p.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. And kind of think that was because the sun set so late. I think people end the day later, which makes them go out later. So that's kind of what I think happened. And because of that, like a fool, I was out there at like 11 p.m. thinking that the night was gonna start getting crazy at like 12. And man, look, people didn't come out to 1 a.m. It was crazy. So I definitely regretted not knowing that. So look, guys, number five, money and prices. First thing first, take your time and make sure you are counting your money. That's the first advice that I gotta give you because you will regret it if you don't. Why? Because look, the money in Chile, for whatever reason, the bills look super similar. They got like a $10,000 bill that looks like a $1,000 bill, and a couple times I found myself almost giving people the wrong amount because a lot of times when I go to different countries, they got colorful money. Colombia, DR have colorful money, but the colors are way different. So it's easier to, just hand over the money. Well, not so much in Chile. The colors are all over the place, kind of similar. And if you're in a rush, you may give somebody amount of money that you didn't want to give them. So make sure that you're taking your time. Sort your money out. Maybe you want to put them out smaller to bigger, so you're not making a mistake and giving to somebody way more than than you owe them. On top of that, I know a lot of people told me before going to Chile, look, this is Latin America, but the prices aren't Latin America like. And I'll agree and disagree. I think, uh, or possibly I just overestimated it, but I think the prices were pretty fair. As far as food, the things that you really need, bus tickets, subway, all that stuff. I felt like the prices were pretty reasonable, maybe a tad bit over like the average Colombian country or Brazilian country, but if that's something that you are worried about, just you could relax your mind on that. It's not as bad as you think, and I definitely regretted it because I ended up rushing at the end trying to spend all of these freaking pesos that I took out because I don't know when the next time I'll be back in Chile, and I didn't want to hold on to them. So don't over uh, withdraw funds that you probably won't need. You can rely on credit cards, but you want some cash, but just don't overdo it. Number six, food. I think this is number six. Number six is food, and you definitely want to make sure that you are, let's say, well equipped or well read or well educated on all the food options out there in Chile. Thankfully, I had some time in Chile to really do my research, but man, if I would have went to Chile and not known the things to get, I would have regretted it. And of course, I got a food video for you guys if you are interested in knowing some of the top plates. But I didn't even scratch the surface out there in Chile when it comes to food. Chile is super underrated when it comes to their cuisine, and I think I don't want to sit here and say they can hold their weight with like Peru or Mexico, but they definitely can hold their own as far as other countries out in Latin America. So Don't just go there and try random stuff or think the food there isn't good. So you just then do your due diligence. Take your time. If you like seafood, look up things to eat or seafood to eat in Chile. If you like carne, which is meat, look up meat to eat in Chile. Best places and all that. You will not regret it. And like I said, if you got any doubts, check out my email. All right, guys. Last but not least is diversity and let's say racism. So I would say you guys probably seen it through the video. Not much going on in that diversity aspect, but I would say um, I only caught a little bit of it, but a lot of art focused around diversity, and the presence was definitely felt. You could tell like the hip hop from paintings to music, everything. I did feel like it wasn't a total exclusion, which I felt like it would have been based on the videos I had seen previously talking about Chile and similar countries to Chile. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. I talk about it a lot in the video about people not staring at me, not making me feel super excluded. And this is probably the first time I ever talk about race in one of my videos. And that's because I just have to kind of take that smug off of Chile's jacket from my experience. Um, I thought they were welcoming, not super welcoming. Not like everybody was smiling in my face telling me to come here, but for the most part, I felt like they were welcoming. I didn't feel like any discrimination as far as nightlife, as far as going into stores. I've heard some crazy stories. So I just want to tell you guys from my experience, Chile was a fairly welcoming country. I didn't feel super out of place. I just felt like a regular tourist. But look, guys, I don't want to talk you guys head off. I already did a bunch of videos in Chile. I did these videos because I want people to explore something different. There's so many countries in Latin America. There's so many countries in the world, and I just want you guys to kind of see other options you have outside of the regular options. Even though we're gonna get back to that too, but it's just all checking. I hope you guys have fun. I hope you guys like the videos. Take a lot of time, try to really give you guys some very quality videos, and hope you guys are enjoying them. So look, I'll check in. Do it on YouTube, not a YouTuber. Get to that like button. Get to that subscribe button. Done playing. I'm done. Let's do it. What's up, guys? If you like the shirt you see me wearing in this video or any of my other videos, check out the description box below to get yours.